What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we're making full Late Guardian Trio Pokemon team. This team is going to be consisting of Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, right? Now, since there's only 3 of these Pokemon, I thought, well, I may as well use the shiny counterparts to make up a full team of 6, right? And make it kind of interesting. If you want to follow me on Twitch, make sure you do this, right? I do all my live streaming for theme teams, Pokemon sweeps, shiny hunts, and also where I take battles as well. So check it out in the description. Twitch.tv/PIMPNITE. Come and drop your boy a follow. So today we have 2 battles, and boy, we have some pretty entertaining battles today. I hope you enjoy them. All right, the first battle here we have is against NateFF, and we got a Machamp lead. And the funny thing about this Machamp, right, is they actually nicknamed that to like roast the surprise trade ones. So we got a very interesting set. It's a little bit scummy though. We got Extra Sentry, Shadow Ball, Tri Attack, and Thunder Wave Azelf. Now, the whole idea of this set, right, is to go for the Thunder Wave, paralyze the opponent, right, and then you go for Extra Sentry, which is Stab, and it also does some nice damage, and it has a chance of flinching the opponent too, and the opponent is already paralyzed, so the chance of them attacking isn't very high, and it could cause them a lot of salt. So Machamp's going to go rest turn 1. I'm like, what is going on today? For Chesterfield, I'm thinking like, well, if they've got rest, I may as well just start attacking them with Extra Sentry, right? Now, this is a Timber Nature Azelf, max speed, max special attack. Azelf's got a lot of offense on the physical and special side too. So Machamp is going to be able to live that one. Machamp's fairly bulky, so I thought it may live. I was actually going for the flinch there or the paralyze. Now Machamp is going to be going to sleep there, and it's going to be getting all of its health back. Now it's not going to have Chesterfield as the item. Okay, doesn't have Sleep Talk? Like, what is this, right? So I know that this is a clear 2-hit KO on Extra Sentry, right? So actually Extra Sentry looks really, really cool. I like the animation for that. So Machamp almost goes down in 1 hit there. I'm like, okay, this has got to be Sleep Talk. What are they going to use? Fissure? Anyway, so we've got a Sleep Talk here coming from the Machamp, and Machamp uses Cross Chop. I'm like, I see there. So Cross Chop still does a lot of damage to Azelf. Azelf isn't a very bulky Pokemon, right? So I can choose to go for any move here. I just went for a Disrespect Tri Attack, and Machamp is going to be taking a little nap. Wait, it's already asleep. Now, also in Pokemon Go, right, they just released these 3 in a raid too. I'm actually trying to get them because I never actually managed to get one when they were roaming around. So I'll be trying to get them in Pokemon Go today onwards. Now we've got the next Pokemon as a Luxray. Now you might be able to see they are actually running a theme team. I'm not going to give it away. Let me know if you get it in the comment section. So Luxray is going to slide into the battle here. What I'm thinking of doing, right, is getting an Extra Sentry. I know it'll be a 2-hit KO, so go for that. Does some pretty good damage there. However, Luxray doesn't get flinch, and Ice Fang is going to take Azelf out. Not much I could have done there. I mean, it would have been nice if I got a flinch, but you know, that's how it is. So Luxray is going to have the Flame Orb there for its ability. And next Pokemon is Azelf again. Azelf is so tiny too. Like, I mean, all of these Pokemon are really, really tiny. So this set is a physical set. We're going to go for a knockoff here, and I'm going to knock off that Flame Orb, and Luxray is going to be going down. Now, this is a physical Azelf here. I've got max speed and max attack, and I've got Jolly Nature. So in comes the Flareon. I was like, okay, on this set, I've got Explosion, Knockoff, Play Rough, and Role Play too. So what I was trying to do with the role play, I was trying to get like a Beast Boost or a Moxie or something like a Huge Power, something like that against the opponent. If I didn't, you know, I didn't. I just went for attacking moves regardless, right? So now we're going to Detect from Flareon, and I went for Explosion. So I didn't detect the Detect, and unfortunately I went for the Explosion. And I've got Normal Gem as the item, right? But even that, it's not going to go through the Protect, man. I'm salty about that. Like, I was thinking, right, one of these Pokemon are probably going to have Protect. What should be the one that has like Protect or Detect when I use Explosion? So Azelf is going to salty explode out of the battle. Nothing I could have done there. Next Pokemon we got is the Mesprit. So you know what? I lost my Azelf, but I never lost my spirit. I had to do it, people. I'm sorry, I had to do it. That deserves a like though. Anyway, so this step is rather interesting, right? So I'm going to go for Protect. I just want to see what the, you know, what the Flareon's going to do. Is it going to go for Flare Blitz? Yes, it's going to go for Flare Blitz. This is going to hit very, very hard, right? So on this set, it's a rather interesting one, right? So this is my Mesprit with Trick, Ring Target, Future Sight, and Rest. So if I came across a Dark type, which would absolutely just rumble my whole team, I could go for a Trick, right? And trick them a Ring Target, right? And then I can hit them with Future Sight or just Psychic type moves in general, removing that Psychic type immunity. So they're going to take a lot of damage there from the Flare Blitz there. Go for the Future Sight, and Flareon's future, well, it's not looking too bright. Now I thought, well, they're probably going to have to swap out here. If they know that I've got Protect, right? So there'll be no point in them staying in. So what I'm thinking about doing, right, is getting, I was thinking, like, if I go for a trick here, I might be able to get another item and, you know, give them a possible, like, just give them a useless item, like ring target. So I went for that, right, and they stayed in and used quick attack. I'm like, oh, bugger. Like, I thought they'd actually, you know, predict me going for the protect, because I already showed it the first time. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? So Flareon is going to take some toxic damage, and now we got Mesprit. I mean, I lost my Mesprit, but I still got my spirit. So I've got 2 Mesprits here, and this is my Trick Room set. So we've got Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Expanding Force, and Dazzling Gleam. Also, I'm going to say this right now before anyone can even roast me in the comment section. I know that I pronounced these Pokemon names wrong, all right? So you don't need to tell me 100 times, right? Because I know there's someone furiously typing right now. Oh my god, PIMPNITE, can you just pronounce these Pokemon names correctly? I'm so angry right now. I'm furious. All right, I feel you, all right? But I said it first, so I can't be roasted. So Flareon is going to go down there, which is good finally. And this Mesprit set, I've got the Trick Room and I've got a Room Service set, right? So we got I nearly said max speed then. Max speed and Trick Room, people. Max special attack and max health. So I've got Expanding Force and Dazzling Gleam. That's my sort of like coverage. I thought, well, one psychic type move, that'll hit basically everything bar like dark types and steel. And then I give myself Dazzling Gleam to, you know, dark types. And if a steel type comes in, well, I'm just going to have to go for a couple of nasty pots, right? So going for a nasty pot against the Potato Nose Conkeldurr, it's going to fling me a Flame Orb there. So you can probably see what team they've got by now. Well, if you haven't, I'm just going to tell you anyway. They've got a full Guts ability team. So that's why they've got, you know, all the Flame Orbs and the Toxic Orbs in the world. So at this stage, I took fairly minimal damage from Conkeldurr. I thought that I'd definitely leave a knockoff if they did have it, but, you know, Mesprit's got some pretty good bulk. So there comes a Make Punch, does 2 damage from my Mesprit, and now I could go for an Expanding Force under the Trick Room, and that will take the Conkeldurr out in one move, which is awesome. Now, in today's video, I did like a double, triple check. There's no floating Dynamax icon going over the battle. There's no like double feints, and there's no glitches. I completely checked the whole video like 3 times after the render. So yeah, I have to do that in the future. I'm sort of doing some experiments with cutting, cutting in between the battles, so there won't be as much empty space, and it's sort of a work in progress there. So anyway, I'm going to get some more burn damage there from the stalling out from the Obstagoon using Obstruct, right? And now they're going to have the Flame Orb as the item. So I was really, really scared of this Obstruct Obstagoon, right? Because it was a Dark type Pokemon. It's got pretty good speed. It's got very nice offense with the Guts up. Like, it's going to be doing a lot of damage to me, right? So I really need to take it out. So we got the Dynamax Obstagoon here. I thought this would be their Dynamax Pokemon when I looked in the team preview at the very, very start. I was like, okay, I need to hit this either with a Fairy type move or a Fighting type move, right? So go for Dazzling Gleam, does a pretty good amount of damage there to Obstagoon, and we got a Max Strike here, and obviously I'm going to be going down for that one. I mean, the only good thing about if you know the opponent's running a Guts team, right, they're not going to have weakness policy, unless they don't run like, you know, like one of the orbs, like Flame Orb, Toxic Orb, one of those sort of things. So a little bit of burn damage on the Obstagoon there. I'm going to be going into my Uxie here. So this Uxie, I'm trying to remember what this Uxie was. This was the Carmine bulky set. So Carmine, Stored Power, Draining Kiss, and Rest. Now, this set was extraordinarily bulky, right? Max health and max defense, right? We've got on this one Bold Nature. Then I just use Carmine, right? As many Carmines as is humanly possible, right? And then I'd go for Draining Kiss to get my health back. Obviously against Dark types and Fighting types and that sort of thing. A lot of those sort of types would be very, very nice. And I've also got a Psychic type move there as well. Now, if I did need to heal myself off during the process of setting Carmines up, I could go for Rest, and Chesterberry would kick in there. Now, if I had to go for another rest, it wouldn't be as good because I'd be asleep for 2 turns. I'd possibly get set up on. So pretty much after I got 1 rest off, I was going to try and attack as much as possible. Unfortunately, in this case, I had a very, very strong Pokemon. It was super effective against me, and it took me out, even with like my amazing bulk there. So we've only got 1 more Pokemon left, and it is Uxie as well. Now, this is actually going to be a physical set, so it's pretty awful on the physical side, which is exactly why I wanted to use it. Now, this is a weakness policy, speedy, physical sweeping Uxie. So I've got Drain Punch in this one, obviously, to boost my attack, and I've got a whole bunch of nice coverage moves on this, right? So I thought, well, I may as well Dynamax this Pokemon. I'm pretty confident they are going to go for some sort of Dark type move and activate my weakness policy. I mean, even if I outspeed them, I should be able to take them out easy with the Max Knuckle Ride. So Uxie is going to be a big old Uxie. I feel like it's actually not actually that big when you look at it. Like, it's like a tiny little fairy, then it's sort of like, well, it's probably as big as I don't know, Wailord's fin. So anyway, it's going to have Pin Missile. I'm like, oh no, not Pin Missile. So say if they went for a Dark type move, I knew I'd live that. But if Pin Missile hits me 5 times, it's going to do a fair amount of damage, right? So there's the second, and there's the third Pin Missile, right? Big props for running Pin Missile on the Obstacle too. And it only hits me 3 times. So like, okay, that's fine. Go for a Max Knuckle there. That's definitely going to take Obstacle out. Only had a little bit of health left, right? Uxie is very bulky as well. Like this, even this is a sweeping set with Dynamax, it just makes it like stupidly bulky, right? So Obstagoon is down. We got one more Pokemon left, and this Pokemon was very, very scary. It was Heracross. I'm like, okay, so Heracross and Obstagoon were the 2 Pokemon I was most scared of. So I was like, okay, definite Mega Horn coming my way. 1, are they going to be able to get a Guts up? And 2, are they going to outspeed me? Now, once again, I was running a Jolly set, so I knew that I could outspeed a Heracross, right? I wasn't running like Anima, right? So Heracross is going to go for Protect. I'm like, okay, Max Mindstorm. Let's see how much this is going to do, right? So Heracross withstands the Zen Headbutt there, or the Max Mindstorm, and it can't protect itself, but it did live, right? And that's going to mean, right, that its item is going to kick in, which is, I think it's going to be the Toxic, and it's a Flame Orb, but one of the orbs, doesn't matter, they all activate Guts. Okay, here we go. So I don't know whether it's going to outspeed me or not. I'm pretty confident that I'll outspeed it because I'm running a Jolly one, and I know that I can outspeed it. We'll definitely take it out. Obviously, it's only got a little bit of health. So Heracross does get outspeed there at the end. Uxie's actually got some surprising base in speed too, like 95 compared to Heracross's 85. Anyway, that was a really, really tight battle there at the end. I'm glad I had my weakness policy Uxie there to pull me through the Obstagoon and the Heracross. Let's get on to battle number 2. This was a battle against Rain as well. Also, if you did battle me in these battles, let me know in the comments section. GG's all right. So the first one, that first battle was done on my Twitch stream. This one was done on my Twitch stream, but it was against a completely random person. So if you do ever see this battle, you know, leave a comment. I always like to have my opponents leave a comment there, especially if I just come across them randomly on the White Cup. So we got a Poltergeist leader. I was like, okay, Dilma, right? You dunk in the teabag a couple of times, you smash the cup, and you get a couple of stat boosts, right? So I know they're definitely going to have a Focus Sash as the item, right? So obviously I know that. And I've got a Focus Sash as well, and they don't know that, right? So I can easily take them out. Now, Shadow Ball is going to be coming my way. It's coming out the end of the teapot. It's coming actually quite slow, and Azelf is going to live on 1 health there with a critical hit. Man, critical hit, that would have taken out. You know what? I'll just pretend, right? If that Shadow Ball, if I didn't have a Focus Sash, if that Shadow Ball kept continuing, right, that would have just, like, KO'd my entire thing. I could just imagine, like, all the little fairies go boom, 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 all the Shadow Balls. Anyway, so our Poltergeist is going to go down. Now, the next Pokemon coming out is Ninetales. Now, this Pokemon caused me a lot of problems. Their team actually was very, very good, too. Like, it was in the team preview, and when I looked back on this battle in hindsight, like this team was a lot better than mine, which actually gave me, you know, I was quite excited to see how far I could go with it, right? Could I get the win? Like, am I just going to get destroyed? I wasn't really sure. So Ninetales is going to set up the fail. I was like, okay. Now, one thing you got to know about this team, right? This team doesn't do a lot of damage at all, right? The Uxie needs a weakness policy to do any sort of forms of damage. The Trick Room Nasty Plot one, it needs some sort of boost. So they don't have amazing offense. They really like super duper hard hitters. So I thought in that case to sack my Azelf off rather than go for a weak extra sentry. That's why I went for Thunder Wave, right? Now Ninetale's going to swap out here. I went for a trick to get rid of its Icy Rock, but this was a big play here, right? Because Mesprit actually stole Dragovish's Choice Scarf, so it couldn't spam Fishiest Scummiest Ren, right? So that was a very good play there, because once a couple of my speedy Pokemon had gone, I was very like, probably very vulnerable to a very fast Pokemon, and the Choice Scarf Fishiest Ren, that is power, man. Anyway, so Mesprit cannot do much here. I'm locked into, obviously, Choice Scarf, just any move. So I was like, let's go Future Side again. It's going to fail. It doesn't matter. I got rid of the Choice Scarf. That was a very big thing there, right? So Dragovich going to take me out with this Strong Draw Crunch there. Bye-bye, Mesprit. Now, at this stage, things aren't looking too good. I've taken a Poltergeist off. I've crippled the Ninetales with Paralysis. And I've also got rid of Dragovish's item. I mean, I've given it a ring target, but it's still a very big threat. So here comes the crunch there. I live on 69 health, which is really good, and I get a defense drop, which doesn't really, it's either here nor there, right? Because I'm going to definitely go down the next turn of it hitting me. So setting up the Trick Room there, trying to get a little bit of speed control on my side of the field. So on this set, right, remember the Veil is still up, so I know that I'm not going to do you know, super amazing amounts of damage. So finally the Future Sight is going to kick in. Future Sight actually does some pretty good damage there considering the Veil was up. Now Mesprit's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam here. It almost takes out the Dragfish. I knew that it would live because obviously because of the Veil and not stab or anything like that, and Mesprit is going to go down. But I didn't lose my spirit, people. I was still in this game. I was determined to get back into this battle, right? I still felt like I had a good chance, right? Now I'm going to go to my Uxie. This is the time to start setting up the Carmine, right? So I thought I could definitely probably get 1, maybe 2 up. I feel like the bulk that I'm running on this thing, this is what I was thinking about. I reckon it was about a 2 to 3 hit KO, right? So Crunch lands, and it lands about what I thought it would, and I didn't get a defense drop. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to cut my losses here in case I do get a defense drop, go for the Draining Kiss, and take out the Dragfish. That would have been very close there, like extraordinarily close. The Draining Kiss doesn't have a lot of base power. I'm not running any EVs in special attack at all. I'm running max health and max defense run. Okay, the next Pokemon coming out here, of course, is the Ninetales again, and they are going to be setting up the Veil once again. So there's nothing I could do. I can't take it out. There's no point in me actually even trying to take it out right now. The best thing I can possibly do here, the greatest thing I can do is set up as many Carmines as humanly possible. Now I've got to go and think that Ninetales is at least going to have Moonblast, or it's going to have Blizzard, right? Or it could have both, right? Normally it's got both as attacks, and you know, that's the normal sort of setup. Usually, so far the opponent has run very standard, predictable sets, right? So I sort of know what's going on. The problem is at this stage in time, I don't quite have the tools to take these Pokemon out. I need to sort of like, I need to do more damage basically. So Ninetales is going to get paralyzed there, which is fine. I'm going to get a little bit of hail damage. So at this point in time, I'm thinking, well, I can definitely get another Carmine off. I'm going to need to probably rest soon to get my health back. But this is actually going to stall out a lot of the Aurora Veil too, which would be very good. So we got a Power Swap here. I'm like, no, Power Swap. So props to them for having Power Swap there. I didn't expect them to have it on this set because they won very standard set so far and nothing really out of the ordinary. So what happened there, right? Let me explain what happened if you didn't get what was going on. Now, I used all those Carmine boosts, right? So at that stage, I had +4 in special attack. Now, that +4 in special attack actually got transferred to the Ninetales. I kept my special defense though, so the attacks that Ninetales are going to be doing to me are going to be hitting me for, you know, neutral. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be that I've got +4 in special defense and they've got nothing in special attack. So that was a really big bummer there, but props to them for running that on their Ninetales. So I went for the rest there. I had to wake up and get some damage off on this Ninetales stat. So Blizzard hits me for about what I expected it to do, and the hail is going to finally go away. So that means Blizzard is not going to be 100% accurate. It doesn't mean they're not going to land it right. So I'm going to go for a Stored Power here. Stored Power is obviously going to be boosted by the fact that I've got special attack boost and special defense. Mainly special defense because all of my special attack boosts got taken away from the dang Ninetales. So going for another Stored Power on the Ninetales. I've got to take this out. I cannot have another Veil on the field. And Ninetales is going to go for another Blizzard here. So like, okay. Well, the problem about this is, right, the next Pokemon can come in and take me out. What if, right, I go for rest, I stall out more of the Veil, and then maybe I might get like 1 turn of no damage. I might get a Paralyze, or they may have to swap, right? So another Blizzard here on the Uxie. It's about a 4-hit KO, and the Veil finally wears off. So I know, okay, the Veil's gone now. I know that I can take Ninetales out, right? Regardless if it's up or down. So I get a Paralyze there, and then I get another Paralyze. I get 2 Paralyze in a row, and I'm able to take out the Ninetales with the Stored Power. So that was very good right there. What I did right is I maximized the amount of health that I was going to have left, and I got 2 Paralyzers, which enabled me to live a lot better than I would have on before. So now comes another problem Pokemon, Hissy the Wobbuffet, right? Look at those lips. Don't tell me you don't want to kiss those lips. So I had to go for a Draining Kiss. Those lips are so tempting, and it does a little damage. Now, I know what's going to be happening here, right? Wobbuffet is going to go for an Encore, predicting me to go for a Carmine. So I already knew that was going to happen. Now, the problem about Wobbuffet, right, is I really didn't have a lot of immediate damage I could do against this thing. If I went for Carmine, they'd just go for Encore, right? And then I could swap out and maybe set up them in. There was a problem Pokemon still in their party, too. Now, I was like, okay, what I'm going to do, right, I've decided to go for as many Draining Kisses as possible. I know the Wobbuffet is going to go for Mirror Coat, right? So I may as well just attack it, get some health back recovery, and try and put it in a manageable health range that I can take out you know, with one of maybe my other Azelf with, like, Explosion. That's what I was starting to think, right? And I had that Uxie in the back, too, the weakness policy one, so I thought, that's going to be the key there, right? I need to make sure I've got that at the end of this battle. So this shenanigans with the Wobbuffet, right, went on for a while, and then it ate a citrus berry. I'm like, oh, no. So now it's going to get more of its health back. It's got 3/4 back now. So here comes another Mirror Coat from the Wobbuffet. I can live one more turn. So at this stage, I was like, you know what? I could go for a rest, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to stall this out. I'm going to go for an attacking move right now. They went for a swap there, got the Wobbuffet out of the battle and swapped into the Ditto. I say what they thought there is I would have gone for a rest, and then they would have copied my stats with the Uxie, right? Now, the thing about this Uxie and the Ditto matchup, right? I've got more bulk than them in my health stat, right? But the problem is we're not going to be doing a lot of damage to each other. And remember, the clock was actually getting close to running out. Like, it was probably about... I think it was about 4 to 5 minutes left of the battle. So, like, okay, I don't want to stuff around anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sack this Uxie off, right? I'm going to swap in my Azelf, go for an explosion, because I know that'll do a lot of damage and almost take it out. And then what I'll do is I'll swap in my own Uxie, and then I'll set up on this Ditto, right? And hopefully they'll stay in and I'll just take it out, right? So go for more stored powers here, hoping the Ditto would just, you know, take me out, or the Uxie Ditto would take me out. They're going to go for a draining kiss here. I was begging for them to kiss me, and I lived on 1 health of merchant available, people. You people were roasting me yesterday in the level 1 team that I didn't plug my merch enough. I felt like I didn't even need to say it. So anyway, the Uxie is going to go for another final draining kiss to take me out, and finally my Uxie is going to go down. I was like, this took forever. So there was 2 minutes left on this battle, and it's like, okay, they've got 3 Pokemon left. I've got only 2 left. So I went into my Azelf, like, okay, I've got nothing to lose here. I know that I definitely can't take it out with anything but Explosion. So I went for the Explosion, right, and they swapped into Wobbuffet. I'm like, okay, well, that's not too bad, I guess. At least I got rid of Wobbuffet, right? The Ditto is going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be able to copy my Uxie, but, you know, that's not the end of the world. So going for Explosion, I've got the normal gem as the item. We got 58 seconds left on this battle, and Wobbuffet lives the Explosion, man. Come on. So my last Pokemon is Uxie. I was like, okay, I'm going to swap it in. I can Dynamax and take the Wobbuffet out, and then, you know, we'll see what happens there. We don't have a lot of time left on this battle. So I decided to go for the Uxie. Also, I want to say props to my opponent for making pretty fast moves as well. They didn't try and timer stall me. It was just a very long battle, right? Because I had to set up like a lot of calm mods. So we got 18 seconds left on this battle. Like, this stupid 20-minute timer, I hate this so much. Like, things they need to include in the next game. Normal human being timer, 60 minutes, and versus recorder, right? So 6 seconds left on the battle. I'm going to go for the Max Flare coming off the Fire Punch, and Kissy is finally going to go down. Now, what they had left, let me tell you the Pokemon they had left, right? They had the Ditto left, right? Well, I wasn't sure what its item was, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it was probably Choice Scarf, judging on their other sets. And they had a Corsola left, a Corsola Gala. So that they had kind of a passive Pokemon left there too. So I'm not sure who you thought would have won this battle. I had 2 more turns of Dynamax. I had access to, like, you know, a couple other moves there too. So I'm not sure who you thought would have won this battle, but regardless, I thought it was a very, very good game, even though we didn't actually get to finish the battle, and that's how it goes. But 20-minute timer sucks. Hope people enjoyed it. Peace out.